At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, get ready, North State Award-winning AJ Lee and Blue Summit are bringing their high-energy, jaw-dropping roots sound to the Cascade Theater on Saturday, November 1st. From festival lot jams to the national stage, this Santa Cruz band is redefining bluegrass with soul, grit, and California charm. Don't miss your chance to see AJ Lee and Blue Summit live in concert. Tickets are on sale now. Grab yours today at cascadetheater.org. And I got to tell you, I've had a chance to listen to some of their stuff, and it is absolutely amazing. So be sure to go out and check that out. Good morning, everyone. How are you doing this morning? That radar is showing the rain coming on in. This is rain. Let me have a little cup of coffee. It's good morning. That rain is coming on in here. This is the storm system I've been talking about since last week. And of course, as expected, it's hitting the coast first. But this is the track of the storm's a little unusual for us. It's essentially riding down the coast of the Pacific Northwest. We're on the south end of the storm system, and that's why the flow is moving from basically northwest to southeast. But eventually it'll move from southwest to northeast, and then we'll be on the north side of the storm system by tomorrow. Again, it's all on the timing of when this storm system tracks down to the south. Some of the heavy rainfall looks to be around Eureka this morning right now, as a matter of fact. And then, of course, pushing to the east into parts of Trinity County, seeing some of the showers. Also, parts of Siskiyou County are seeing some of that rain. And we do have in western Siskiyou County, and we're also seeing some of those showers here in western Siskiyou County as well. This is all going to be pushing eastward here throughout the morning and eventually bringing some snow for some of the higher elevations. And we're seeing that with the winter storm warning for 5 a.m. today through 5 a.m. Wednesday. Now, this is mainly for the northern Sierra, just east of the valley in the mountains of Shasta County, Tehama, Butte County, and even Plumas counties. And then, of course, southward into the Sierra itself. Now, we're going to be looking at snow levels. This winter storm warning, by the way, is for elevations above 6,500 feet, where you're measuring feet of snow. 1 to 2 to even 3 feet of snow is a possibility for some of those highest elevations. Now, is this going to impact our mountain travel here today or tomorrow, at least here in the North State? Not a whole lot. Now, we're going to get into some of the areas that may see some impact. And I'll say you right now, Scott Mountain Pass in northern Trinity County, parts of Highway 97 in Siskiyou County, parts of Highway 139 in Modoc County, and maybe out towards Cedar Pass, seeing the potential for some snow. Otherwise, you head into some of those higher elevations east of I-5, above 6,000 feet, you may run into some chain requirements there later today, tonight, and into tomorrow. And especially heading down into the Sierra, where they've got a lot of those higher mountain passes in general, which is why you would see more chain requirements. All right, so here's what we've got going on. Cool and a wet start to the week. Snow levels between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. Dry and warmer by the middle of the week, and then more wet weather coming in by the end of the weekend into early next week. We got a lot to talk about in our deeper dive forecast, but before we get to all of that, here is your Krueger's Quick Cast for your Monday, October 13th. All right, so taking a look at the temperatures out there. It's cold. Look at Mount Shasta City, 36 degrees. We're seeing about 32 degrees in Bernie right now, and there you can see out towards Red Bluff about 47 degrees. You got 55 degrees in Oroville and 42 degrees in Hayfork. All right. Interesting, we take a look at out the door this morning. Yeah, a little wet. By 8 o'clock this morning, I think many of us that aren't seeing rain now will eventually start to see some of that shower activity here. So there you can see, places like the Eastern Mountains most likely staying dry at this point here. Temperatures in the 40s, even some 50s for places along the coast for those daytime highs. All right, there you can see, looking at that area of low pressure, that thing is spinning right now as we speak. And it's just kind of shifting down to the south here. It's over the Pacific Northwest, or just off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and that is going to be riding its way southward throughout the morning and afternoon. And then eventually it'll take a turn to the east, just to our south, and we'll be on the north side of that storm system. So we're going to watch the progression throughout the day and even into tonight, tomorrow, of the storm systems moving from This morning, northwest to southeast, then eventually from southwest to northeast, then eventually from southeast to northwest. And again, it depends on the positioning of where you are to where that area of low pressure is. So we're going to take a look at the HRRR forecast model, taking a look at some of the latest radar data, and then incorporating that into the latest forecast, which the HRRR forecast model updates every hour. So here we go. We've got that snow in the mountains, mainly above 5,000 feet here. I think Scott Mountain Pass may see some snow this morning. That's not out of the question. As I mentioned, maybe on parts of Highway 97 in Siskiyou County. Maybe even parts of Highway 36 seeing the potential. But Highway 299, I don't see it happening. Your elevations are too low. But we're looking at the potential for some pockets of heavy rainfall, maybe some lightning strikes. Then by around the morning hours, say 8, 9, 10 o'clock in the morning, the valley getting in on some of the rain. You'll see it's not very heavy at this point. We still got some of that snow. It looks like it's hitting I-5, but it's not. It's mainly Highway 97, Scott Mountain Pass on Highway 3, seeing that potential on Highway 36. That's 10 o'clock this morning. Now we take you into about 3 o'clock this afternoon. Now the area of low pressure is a little bit down to our south, and now we're seeing the activity coming in from south, working its way northward. Now you take a look at where it is. It's in the valley. Not a lot of activity, though, you'll notice off to the east of the valley, but could see some thunderstorms for parts of the valley this afternoon into this evening. So you see how that flow is coming in around the area of low pressure, because at this point now the area of low pressure is to the south of the North State, and it's riding down the coast of Mendocino, and will continue to ride down to the south at that point, but then eventually kind of shift a little bit to the east. So as we go into tonight, we're still seeing some of that wraparound moisture. Now we're seeing most of the showers south of Siskiyou and Modoc counties. We're dry for the north coast at this point, and everywhere else seeing some of those showers. Now as we go into tomorrow, that's when things could get a little bit more interesting, but we'll get into that here in just a little bit. So for today, showers and thunderstorms for some of us, otherwise just the showers. Snow levels 5,000 to 6,000 feet. It is going to impact some of the higher mountain passes, but again, mainly above 5,000, 6,000 feet, and really mainly above 6,000 feet. Temperatures mid to upper 40s tonight for the valley. Look at that in the mountains. You're dropping below freezing. And this is why you could see snow levels drop a little bit here. You know, I'm talking about 5,000 to 6,000 feet. But if we get some of that colder air moving in, now we're talking, the potential for some lower snow levels at that point. So that's something worth watching as well as we go into tonight and early tomorrow morning. All right, so we take a look at that 7-day forecast for the valley. Showers and thunderstorms today. Could see more showers tomorrow, but I do think eventually by the second half of the day, there could be more breaks in the clouds. Wednesday, we're dry through Saturday, and then maybe another shot at some rain by Sunday of next week. Possible thunderstorms even for parts of Siskiyou County, maybe some showers for the inland areas and for Trinity County. Now, Trinity County, 5,000-foot snow levels. Today, they'll probably climb up to about 6,000 feet by Tuesday. And by the way, Tuesday will be dry for the coast. Siskiyou County, you got showers, possible thunderstorms, as well as Modoc County for eastern mountains, Susanville in particular. You've got showers, snow level 6,000 feet for today and tomorrow. And then we're dry by Wednesday, and then dry through the weekend, at least the first half of the weekend, with showers by Sunday. And so Lake Oroville, it's pretty dark out there still this morning. You got the overcast skies for many of us here, but not really seeing any rain in the valley just yet. That's going to be changing here later this morning and through the afternoon. Taking a look at Main Street Chico on Highway 32, still looking at dry conditions for you this morning. So your morning commute will be dry for most of us this morning. But as I mentioned, by around 8 o'clock this morning, the north end of the valley may start to see some of those showers, and around 9 o'clock in the morning as well. There's Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. We're taking a look at Crescent City now. This is looking out at the Harbor District Camp. It's a little wet out there this morning, as to be expected. Let's take a look right now at the Elk Country north of Trinidad. Did it kind of go blank on me? What's going on here? Let's see if we can reconnect. That was a later image. I've been having the connection there kind of come and go. Sometimes when it rains, it tends to have a little bit of an issue. Yeah, it's not working out for us today. But earlier it was connected, and there was certainly some rain there. So that's to be expected. So that's a look at Crescent City this morning. All right, let's take a look at Bald Hill West, and again, a lot of the low clouds kind of lingering around there. It's a little wet, especially start heading west of the valley. There's a look at Soda Ridge, looking down at Hoopa Valley, as a matter of fact, and you can see overcast skies there. You'll start to see some of those showers developing this morning, maybe even a few thunderstorms. There's a look at Fort Jones, a little dark this morning there as well. You've got the overcast skies. All right, that is a look at your Krueger's Quick Cast and what's going on around the area. Let's take a look at our Turtle Bay wonderful world of animals. And today we're not going to actually focus on an actual animal, but the science behind the feathers of a bird. Sharon Clay has all kinds of great information, so let's check it out. Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Mike Krueger. We've got Sharon Clay with me here today from Turtle Bay, and we are, of course, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. But today it's going to be Wonderful World of Feathers, because feathers are part of an animal, and there are all kinds of feathers, right? I mean, we don't really think about it, but they all have their different purposes and all that good stuff, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm very impressed. So, yeah, we all know birds have feathers, but we don't really think about it. We're like, oh, the birds have feathers. What does it let them do? Fly. Okay, yeah. But do all feathers help them fly? Actually, no.
Well, and of course, feathers that were used for quills, right? For writing.
Yeah.
Back in the day.
So the thing about feathers is that shape equals function, not size. Size doesn't matter. Shape matters.
Well, now we're going into physics.
So it's exactly what we're going into.
Yeah.
So birds fly with these feathers right here. This is called a primary feather or a flight feather. So you can see it's got this notch in it. So it comes across wide and then a notch, and it's very tight against the main quill in the middle.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. So this is from one bird, same shape, bigger bird.
Okay.
Still a flight feather.
Check
this one out.
Smaller one. You
Same
got the same
shape, little feather.
I see one right here too.
Right.
There's
so this one, and that is a secondary. So this is a primary. No, that's good. That's great. That's a primary. It's got the big notch. As you make your way down the wing, so these are what you call like the fingers. When you see a bird flying and they got those like kind of fingers out, these are always located on what would be the same bones as our hand. That's where they're attached on the bird, and it gives them lift, just like on an airplane. So this part is going to be forward. See the kind of curve on this feather, and it creates the lift, and this is what allows them to actually fly.
Well, the Wright brothers must have known something, right?
Right?
Yeah.
Or not. They crashed how many times first? No, they figured it out over time. So those are flight feathers or primary feathers.
Okay.
And as you go down the line, that notch gets less, and as it goes down the wing, you have secondaries and then tertiaries.
Okay.
So those are your flight feathers.
So it looks like we have a secondary right there, right?
Exactly. Or this is actually probably either a far out, it's like right on the edge of either primary, so either one of the last primaries or a secondary.
Okay.
Exactly. Still got the good notch. It's probably still a farther down primary. Then you have things like tail feathers. Notice that the quill goes straight up the middle. That's going to be a middle tail feather. This is a red-tailed hawk.
And that's what kind of probably steers
them. And that's for steering, exactly. Steering, very, very important. So shape, very different shape of a feather, because that can help them to steer. But then you've got these feathers for birds. Look at these little guys.
These are tiny.
These are tiny. I don't know if you can see them. Tiny little feathers.
Obviously not an eagle, for example.
Yes, but an eagle has the exact same feathers, just bigger. Exact same feathers, and those are contour feathers. So all those feathers you see covering their body are contour feathers. It's what gives them aerodynamics, right? It smooths them completely out. There's all kinds of feathers. Even when you see them having eyelashes, those are modified feathers. Anything around their face, those are feathers. Here's a really long tail for steering on a magpie. You can see this one. And then you have things like this. This is for communication. This is a top feather on a bird that communicates.
Okay. Doesn't help them fly.
So it doesn't help them fly. So not all feathers are used for flight. And owl feathers, you can see, I don't think they can see. See the serrated edge?
Oh, that's yes.
That's what gives them silent flight. I'm gonna hold that up.
Okay. Can you see the serrated edge? It's pretty cool. right in there. I don't know, maybe you can. I try to get a little fancy. But,
Yeah, that's okay. And that's what gives them their silent flight. This actually faces forward. It hits the air first. It cuts through the air quietly, and it allows them to fly without making any noise. Versus these that are going to make noise. Listen, ready?
Oh my goodness, there's so much noise. I can't.
That's one feather. Think about a whole wing.
Can this one make noise?
And then if you do this one, yeah, but listen.
Not as much. Not as
Yeah.
much. I maybe
So you
need to
get
have my
almost
hearing
nothing.
checked too.
There you go.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it. I mean, there's so many types of
Yeah.
feathers. You can look them up. I'm going to tell you one last thing I think is super cool about feathers. Birds that are white. White feathers are not as strong as black feathers. It's got more actually keratin laid on it to create the feather, to get the dark color. And so these are stronger. So if you look at any white birds flying, look at snow geese, look at white pelicans, look at all your white birds flying and notice that their flight feathers are still dark. Because it takes so much to cut through that these would not survive.
Interesting.
So feathers are cool. It's literally what allows them to survive. You want to end the last 10 seconds or so with an actual bird?
Yeah, let's see.
All right, here. She's coming on in. This is Pez.
Pez,
and
yes,
this is the
Pez.
owner of these little teeny feathers that we were
Pez.
showing you. There you go. And that's one of our lorikeets. And people can watch them fly all the time in our walk-through aviary.
Well, now I have a new appreciation when I see a bird and looking at their feathers and what they all do and what they all mean. So thank you, Sharon. This was very educational. I hope you got something out of it. We will see you next week for Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Once again, I want to thank Grange Co-op for their support of basically Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals and our family animal family section, that is, our animal family segment, which includes, of course, Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals and Pet of the Week. So once again, I want to thank Grange Co-op for their support of not only Animal Family, but Weather NorCal in general. Also want to thank Wind River for their support of not only looking at Weather NorCal, but they have been the primary sponsor of Coffee with Krueger since day one. So I want to appreciate them 100%. Could not be more grateful for all of our sponsors, including Wind River. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. Okay, so let's start off by taking a look at our deeper dive forecast here. And this is where we're going to start with our current temperatures. And right now, it's quite cool. I mean, we're down to 44 degrees right now this morning in Redding. Not quite as cool in Chico at about 54, 55 degrees for Oroville. 38 in El Tourist, 41 in Susanville, 36 for Mount Shasta City, and we've got 51 degrees in Crescent City. With some of the clearing skies that we did see, and then eventually the clouds moved in, kind of trapped in some of that colder air. So that may initially give us some slightly lower snow levels than originally anticipated, but for the most part, between 5,000 and 6,000 feet is what we're anticipating. Now, I did take a look at some of the cameras. I didn't really see any snow on Highway 97 here, but I do think that as we go through the morning, there certainly is that possibility. As it gets a little bit heavier, it may have a little bit more difficult time sticking right now because the roads might be too warm. But once we kind of cool things off a bit, get those roads a little bit colder, we may see some of that sticking to some of the roadways for some of those higher passes on Highway 97. Meanwhile, you've got some of the heavier rainfall along the north coast towards Garberville. Looks like you're seeing some of that heavier rainfall out towards the Eureka area, eastward into Blue Lake, and approaching Hoopa and Willow Creek at the current hour. Here with some of the heavier rainfall there, and we're seeing some of the showers that we are seeing right now in Del Norte County as well. Trinity County just getting in. It looks like we're seeing a few light showers trying to develop here on that Trinity County and Shasta County line. You also see some of the mix that we are seeing. So we're definitely looking at a fairly cold storm system for this time of the year. And we've got the area of low pressure right here. So the main area of low pressure is just off the coast of the Pacific Northwest, and it's going to be just diving down to the south and then eventually doing this. So what's going to happen is what we're seeing now is that the storm system as it approaches, the area of low pressure is here, so it's moving kind of more from northwest to southeast as the storm system dives to the south. Eventually, as it moves a little bit more to the south, then the rain will be coming up from this direction. And then as it moves to the south of us, it'll be coming in this direction. So again, depending on the time of the day and when that storm system dives down to the south and how far south it goes, that's also a bit of a trick to our forecast for tomorrow. Because the farther south the area of low pressure goes, the slimmer the chances for rain to the north, and then of course better chances down to the south. But looking at the Storm Prediction Center, I don't know. I mean, I look at this and I go, okay, yeah, maybe a chance for thunderstorms in the valley. I think all of Trinity County could see a chance for thunderstorms. I think all of Del Norte and Humboldt counties could see a chance. I think all of Siskiyou and Modoc County start heading off to the east into places like Lassen and Plumas counties. I think the chances there will be a bit slimmer, so it just depends. But bottom line, there is that chance for thunderstorms in the forecast. So let's take a look at Futurecast, and honestly, I think it's doing just as good at the current hour or at the 8 o'clock hour as the HRRR, because this is where most of the rain is. However, I think it's overdoing it on the intensity of the rain, right? But we take a look at what's going on right now, and we go at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's Scott Mountain Pass. Could Scott Mountain Pass see some snow? That's not out of the question as we go through the morning hours. And there's that rain. Now, by 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, we do start to see some of that working its way into the Redding, Red Bluff, and maybe even the Corning area as we go into the early mid-morning hours or so. There you can see that little bit of a line here. Still the heavier rainfall off to the west. That's where the heavier snowfall is too. Highway 97 looks like it's kind of warming up a little bit. You might have a harder time developing that snow on the highway there. Meanwhile, we start to see more of that spin, right? So it's kind of doing this. So that area of low pressure at this point should be kind of just to the west of northern Humboldt County, right? So as the flow is kind of coming around, so this is all coming in from the south and working its way northward. So the valley seeing some of the rain, could see pockets of moderate to heavy rainfall, maybe some lightning strikes as we go through the afternoon in the valley. We're also around that flow seeing it kind of moving into Plumas, Lassen, and Modoc counties, and of course Siskiyou County working its way in with some of that activity as well. Now we take it to 6 p.m., still seeing a pretty good swath of moisture over the valley here, working its way also into Plumas and Lassen counties. Could see a few isolated thunderstorms here off to the north and to the east. In the meantime, we're not looking as much wet weather here for parts of Del Norte, Humboldt County, and even western Siskiyou County at this point. In fact, by tonight, tomorrow morning, I think Del Norte, Humboldt counties, you'll be dry for tonight and through the day tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, there's tomorrow morning. It's at 8 a.m. So what you'll notice, we've got quite a flow coming pretty far northward. So, you know, we're talking Modoc County, Siskiyou County, working its way into the Valley and Lassen and Plumas counties, right? So the flow is doing a little something like this. This should be kind of doing a little something down to the south and west. Why is that? Because the area of low pressure is down to our south. Now, it's going to be moving through the day on Tuesday, basically to the south and east, as I even get out of the picture here, right? But that area of low pressure is way off to our east over there, so we're still seeing the flow doing something like this. So now it's all coming from northeast down to the northwest, I mean back down to the southwest, and then we're seeing some of those showers for Siskiyou, pretty much everyone except Del Norte and Humboldt counties seeing that chance for showers. You'll notice, though, it's not as widespread. So we're not going to see as much rainfall, I think, for some of us. But, you know, look at this. We could be looking at some more snow down into the Sierra as well. Now, again, what we see here for tomorrow will depend on how far south that area of low pressure shifts. If it shifts a little bit more to the south, then I think chances will be a bit slimmer for places like Siskiyou and even Modoc counties to see some of that rain. But check this out. As we go into Tuesday night, early Wednesday morning, seeing a little area over the Warner Mountains, seeing some snow, and that could also mean the potential for some chain requirements on Cedar Pass on Highway 299 in Modoc County. But you can see just how quiet it is elsewhere. And then as we go through the day on Wednesday, we're done. We're going to be looking at dry conditions. We'll call it partly cloudy, and then we'll keep it dry through the rest of the week and even into the weekend. I want to stop it here for Monday. As you can see here, about 1/4 to 1/2 inch, I think, in the valley. Now, it might be underdoing it. I would say on average about 1/2 inch in the valley. I think it's underdoing it here for Crescent City, but I think we could see upwards of about 1/2 inch along the coast here, and then not as much off to the east. Now watch what happens as we go into Tuesday. We're not going to see these numbers go up much higher. That's because, as I mentioned, it will be dry on Wednesday, right, for Del Norte and Humboldt counties. But I think we'll tack on another batch of some rain here. So I think on average for today, tomorrow night, and a Wednesday morning, the valley could pick upwards of 1/2 inch to possibly about 1 inch of rainfall. And I do expect to most likely see less rainfall off to the north and to the east. This is a different forecast model, just kind of give you some other projections here. Again, you'll notice it's really not even putting it upwards of an inch, but I do think parts of the valley could see close to, if not around an inch in some spots here. Not as much for the coast, although I do want to give Crescent City a bit more than 1/10 of an inch of rainfall, and then less rainfall, especially to the north and east. However, I do think we could see a bit more rainfall than we're seeing here also in parts of Siskiyou County. You get the idea. I mean, it's going to be a good soaking rain here, I think, for some of us, and a welcome sight pretty much any way you look at it. Let's talk about the snow, and it's going to show you a little bit of accumulation trying to work its way into places like Quincy. That might be high enough. Portola might be high enough in elevation to maybe see a light dusting of snow. I think Chester, listen, it's not out of the question for you at points, especially in the overnight hours, to maybe see a rain-snow mix, but no accumulation there. But there you can see Cedar Pass right here, right? There's some of the snow. We take a look at Mount Shasta is covering up, but Highway 3 is right about here. That's Scott Mountain Pass. We're seeing some snow there. But look at Highway 299. No snow. Highway 36 is somewhere around here. I should include those highways in there as well, by the way. I'll maybe have to do that here. But there might be a little bit of snow on parts of Highway 36 as well once all is said and done today through at least Wednesday morning. So there's the area of low pressure. By this afternoon, you'll see it's off to our west. Then it dives down to the south. You see where it is? Right here. That's Tuesday. So to the south, it wants to bring it pretty far to the south here. So what that would do is bring most of the rain to the south of Redding. But that's just one model. If it's a little bit more to the north, then now we've got all this rain up to the north of that. So that's the trick of at least tomorrow's forecast. How far south is this area of low pressure going to go? We are seeing some discrepancies in the models. And some want to take it farther south than others. So that will depend on exactly where that goes, depends on who sees the rain, and most of the rain tomorrow. And that's why I've just kind of included a chance for rain for everybody, including Redding, even into parts of Siskiyou County as well. Then by Wednesday, we're done. We're done with the rainfall, at least for now. We go into Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. You're looking at dry conditions. There's next Thursday. We take you into Friday. And Saturday, we got high pressure really dominating our pattern here. But then over here, we've got the next storm system coming in by Sunday. All right, so let's take a look at the forecast snow totals kind of across the board here. And this is, oh boy, you know, I didn't change this map, did I? Let's get out of there. Did I change it? Let me see. Oh, there we go. This is what we want to pay attention to. All right, there we go. Forecast road conditions, at least for today, tonight, and there you can see, let's take you into about 6 p.m. So you'll notice here, we're just not seeing much. You know, I got to stop this. I got a little distracted by what was going on there. I'm going to go ahead and stop this because there was something I wanted to point out here. Yeah, there we go. Let's do this. Here we go. Perfect. All right, let's take you back to this. Okay, it stops at 10 a.m. this morning because, again, I wanted to point this out. All right, so here you can see Scott Mountain Pass right there. It's showing a bit of a mix. So could we see some snow on that mountain pass around mid-morning hours? It's certainly a possibility. But if you look at Highway 299, you look at Highway 36, you even look at anywhere to the east here, we're just not seeing any at this point. Okay, now we take you into this afternoon about 6 p.m. You see how we're not seeing really much more towards Scott Mountain Pass, but that's something you need to watch throughout the day, I would say. Highway 36 looks okay, 299, even Cedar Pass, and even that. Now this right here is some snow that's working its way into the Lassen Volcanic National Park, some of those higher elevations there. And then we go into tomorrow morning, 6 a.m., we're beginning to see the Warner Mountains begin to pick up a little bit more in the way of snow, but still, things are looking okay off to the east here. Scott Mountain Pass, I mean, it's getting close, so not out of the question even for tomorrow morning, but Highway 299, Highway 36, looks to be okay. So this is not going to be one of those situations where you're going to run into major issues, at least here in the North State. I do want to take you to the south, though, into the Sierra. You can see here's Tahoe southward. You see a lot more snow. These are higher mountain passes now. Now you're looking at mountain passes 6,000, 7,000 feet. So there's a very good possibility, especially as you go to the next 24 to 48 hours, you're looking at the potential to see those chain requirements. It's certainly an early storm system, or, you know, as we go into, you know, the next storm system coming in next week, probably looking at higher snow levels than what we're seeing here. But this is something to pay attention to if you're going to be traveling anywhere in the Sierra, especially around Tahoe southward. Just be aware of that for today and especially tomorrow. Meanwhile, we are looking at cooler than normal conditions in our longer range forecast. As you can clearly see that there will be a spike in our temperatures by the end of the week. A welcome sight. I mean, upper 70s, absolutely gorgeous. And then we drop back down again as that next storm system approaches, giving us another shot for some rain come Sunday and Monday. Your lake levels, it looks like Lake Oroville, it's getting close to 100% of historical average, which is still good. But we just want to keep it above 100, right? I'm just watching this percentage drop, and we're actually watching Lake Oroville drop by about a foot a day. So yeah, it's dropping pretty rapidly. We're not seeing quite the drop though for Shasta Lake or Lake Oroville. Take a look at the wave heights. They are increasing a little bit here for today. We may see them begin to kind of back off a bit here as we take you into your Tuesday afternoon. No coastal flood advisories. There was one last week, and that's why that was still in there. For some reason, I didn't really update the second half of the show here as much as I wanted to. North winds at about 10 to 15 knots. Waves from the northwest at 2 feet at 5 seconds. And from the northwest at 8 feet at about 10 seconds. There's your high and your low tide and that small craft advisory. All right, so here is your neighborhood forecast, sponsored in part by Dignity Health. Taking a look at Trinity County here for today, we're looking at temperatures today quite cool in the upper 40s to low to even mid 50s, just depending on where you are. 5,000 feet for today, 6,000 feet by tomorrow, those snow levels, and then dry for Wednesday through Saturday, and then another shot of some rain come next Sunday. We take a look at your Dignity Health North Coast neighborhood forecast. Temperatures basically in the mid to upper 50s for the Highway 101 corridor there, 56 in Honeydew. Could see a chance for a few thunderstorms for some of you in the North Coast. We take you out to Ferndale, 57. We're looking at drier conditions by Tuesday, by the way. All of the North Coast, I think, will be dry on Tuesday. Some of the extreme eastern portions of Humboldt, Del Norte County, or really Humboldt, may see a stray shower. So, Willow Creek, Hoopa, not entirely out of the question, but you may be a little bit too far to the north to really see anything on Tuesday. 57 for Gasquet, 57 for Orleans, 56 out in Oric, and Smith River about 62. Your Dignity Health Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures for the Highway 96 corridor and really the I-5 corridor are going to be in the mid to upper 50s on average. We take you out to Scott Valley, upper 40s to low 50s. Could see a few stray thunderstorms, otherwise some heavy rainfall at times. 5,000 feet today, 6,000 feet for those snow levels by tomorrow. Your central and eastern Siskiyou County forecast, temperatures in the 40s there, 49 degrees for Weed, 48 degrees in McLeod. Let's take a look at your Modoc County neighborhood forecast. You've got those temperatures generally staying in the 50s, eventually warming up by your Thursday and Friday. Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast. Bernie about 49, 6,000 feet on average today and tomorrow, drying out by Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday, with a chance for some more wet weather by Sunday. Take a look at Lake Almanor, Lassen Park. You've got those temperatures. Look at that south entrance, 38 degrees for your high, 49 for Chester. And looks like Chester, you will mainly be in the form of rain. However, there may be a brief point in time, especially tomorrow night into early Tuesday morning, you may see a mix. Otherwise, rain there. And of course, looking at snow levels around 6,000 feet or higher for Susanville area as well, Monday and Tuesday. Your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the south, you can see about 61 degrees for Gridley, 57 for Corning. Could see an isolated thunderstorm. Otherwise, maybe some more showers come Tuesday, dry for Wednesday through Saturday. Your 7-day forecast for Chica, we're dry Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, even Saturday. And then I do expect to see those temperatures in the 70s here by the time we do get into Sunday. 72 degrees for that daytime high. I stepped on something and unplugged something. I got a small studio here, folks. Here's your Dignity Health Valley neighborhood forecast to the north. 55 degrees for the city of Shasta Lake, 56 degrees in Cottonwood, and 56 degrees in Palisadro. Here's your 7-day forecast for Redding. We've got those temperatures increasing, especially by the end of the week. We're talking upper 70s by the time we get into Friday and Saturday in dry conditions, but then another drop in our temperatures by Sunday. You're talking 71 with a chance for some more wet weather. So certainly a welcome sight making its way here with that wet weather. We're going to check in with some of you here this morning. And the first to check in, I didn't get a chance to really check in with you before then. We've got Lisa Stevens saying, yawn, stretch, happy Monday morning. Have an amazing week. We've got Lisa saying good morning, looking forward to the rain and mountain snow. Praying for lots of rain and snow and the mountains and all that good stuff. Curtis Brown saying, good morning, Mike, and everyone. Have a great day. Good morning from Barry. Barry saying good morning. We've also got Curtis Brown saying again. Great segment on bird feathers. I find lots of feathers on the property and save some. My wife, man, I tell you what, she's always, we can't go on a hike without her, you know, filling up her bag full of feathers. So yeah, that was fun. I enjoyed that. And Sharon was like trying to get a little bit more creative, and I think she did a great job with that. So yeah, Curtis, thank you for commenting on that. Good morning. I will be watching you as I travel to Portugal. Guess I'm leaving just as winter comes in. Yeah. And you're going to Portugal. I'm so sorry. So such a tragedy for you. We've also got, Tim Moore saying Happy Indigenous Peoples Day, Columbus Day. Yeah, that's today. That gets a little political, doesn't it? It used to be Columbus Day, but now it's not. And right, I don't know. That's why I don't put anything on the map, because I stay apolitical here at Weather NorCal. That's the bottom line. But thank you, Tim Moore, for bringing up both, right? Because some people celebrate Columbus Day, some people celebrate Happy Indigenous Peoples Day. Just depends on who you are and your beliefs and all that good stuff. So thank you for being apolitical, Tim Moore. I certainly appreciate that, and I appreciate everybody being apolitical. That's what makes Weather NorCal so awesome, right? No politics. We don't have to deal with that. We don't have to worry about anyone inflicting their views or their opinions, because we know the news operations can do that, and it's no fun. So I don't do that because I have no political agenda. I'm just a guy giving you the weather forecast, right? What does I say here? No hype, just weather, right? And I don't do the hype either. I don't go, oh my gosh, it's a you know, weather day or whatever, right? Like severe weather day or whatever. I don't know. It's just it gets too dramatic. I hate that stuff. Interesting, Tim. So Tim said this, and kind of interesting. Married to a native woman, so I do both. All right. Very cool. Good for you. Good for you. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Well, that's going to do it for us this morning, folks. How are you doing? You know what? We got a little time. Let's talk about it. Let's do the calendar for today. I had something rebooted my computer, so it's not just in my system. There it is. Let's see if it's there. There it is. Today is October 13th. There you go, folks. That's when I put it on the screen for you this time. Can you believe it? Let's see, National Online Bank Day. Well, I mean, certainly something I don't know if I necessarily want to celebrate, but I do a lot of online banking. I love that. I've been online banking for a long time. Not online baking, online baking. National Kick Butt Day. Okay. Get out there and kick some butt, shall you? Native American Day. There you go. Which I goes in line. Oh, look at this. Native American Day and Columbus Day. National Day calendar is also, being apolitical here, Metastatic Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Boy, it's one of those random ones, isn't it? So there you go. Let's read more about metastatic. On October 13th, so let's see here. Metastatic cancer is a stage 4 cancer invading all areas of the body. It affects the liver, lungs, brain, lymph nodes, and more. Oh, this sounds terrible. Both men and women are diagnosed each year. Additionally, there are different types of metastatic breast cancer. Sadly, metastatic breast cancer is a devastating diagnosis to receive. While many breast cancers can be cured, well, that's just sad. I mean, it's awareness. It's raising awareness. Man, let's wrap it up with something a little bit more positive, shall we? Let's read about National Kick Butt Day. National Kick Butt Day is a day to give yourself that much needed kick in the pants. It's about moving past the planning stage and getting down to business of doing. Whether your goals are personal, professional, or just practical, today is the day to make progress and prove to yourself what you're truly capable of. You know, what's interesting, I was just talking to my wife about this, that we are looking for ways for Weather NorCal to grow. And there is growth. We're seeing it down the line. It's happening. But we're looking for more ways for it to grow. And we were talking about different ways to make that happen. Maybe today is that day that I make some phone calls I've been meaning to make. Maybe it's that day I do all of that. Kick Butt Day. Maybe I'll go out there and kick some butt. What do you think? Think Pink Month. Yes, Tim Moore saying it's Think Pink Month, which of course goes right in line with that breast cancer thing. metastatic breast cancer awareness. There we go. Not a breast cancer thing. That's terrible. Think Pigment. Thank you, Tim. And I have yet to wear pink. Maybe I'll wear pink tomorrow as a reminder. Well, that's going to do it for us, folks. Let's take a look at some cameras. See how things are going out there. Looking out at Soto Ridge, mostly cloudy skies. Not much in the way of rain just yet. But that will be changing. Well, that's going to do it for us this morning. I hope you have a great Monday. Enjoy this wet weather. If you are going to be traveling in the mountains, if you're traveling on a mountain pass above 6,000 feet, please be aware you may run into some problems. Outside of that, I think it's just going to be wet roads for most of you. So have a great day. Stay safe in that wet weather, and we'll see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you.